Alright, hey everybody, welcome tonight. We're going to be hopping into Dunwich. I've brought a friend of mine along. He lives with me. We're good buddies, and we've been playing a lot together. So I remember I was saying before I've been playing a lot of two-handed, but with someone else. That's what I meant. His is the other person. We're going to see things through our perspective, so we won't know their hand. It'll be similar as if you were playing with somebody else. I'm going to be playing Jenny Barnes, and they're going to be playing Ashcan Pete. Um, we have our deck set up so we can click build, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to grab the Dunwich stuff. Oh, looks like he's ahead of me. Alright, there we go. Grab Dunwich. We're going to just start at the beginning, so in the very beginning you could choose between starting at the casino or the university. I pretty much always start at the university, so we're going to do that. I'm just going to slide this down a little bit. We're going to make him a leader. That way he can make some changes if he needs to. We're going to give each of us one of these. I'm going to be the lead investigator. And then we're going to hop into the book. Let's head over here to this. So now we have to put our names in. So I'm Tom, and I'm playing Jenny Barnes. And that's Dawn, and they're playing Ashcan Pete. Alright, all that's taken care of. Once they're out of the options menu, I can look into the book. There we go. Alright, so we'll be setting up the campaign in a moment. This is what I was saying, this is the lead-in, so we have to decide to either go to the university and do extracurricular activity, or go to the cabaret club and do the house always wins. I'm going to do the extracurricular activity, so we're just going to hop in. That's because it's the first one in the book. So the gathering all the cards, the app does that for me. We're going to do this as the first one, so we're going to use the night is still young and remove the hour is late from the game. So that's in the set aside cards, which are going to be in here. So we search, and we're looking to the faculty offices, and there's two of them, and we want the night still young, and we are not going to use the hour is late because this is the first mission, so we're just following the book's rules. Okay, we're going to set the following cards aside. That's all taken care of. We just saw them, put the things into the play, and we begin in the quad. Shuffle the remainder of the encounter deck to build it. So we just press shuffle real quick. Do that a few times. We are already here in the quad. We'll flip that over. There's no clues, and there is a resign option that says we can't find Warren Rice anywhere. You leave hoping Armitage will do it. We need 6 clues to advance the agenda, and we have 7 turns to do so. Alright, so this is Don. He's going to be doing his mulligans and playing for Ashcan. If he wants to say hi, feel free. I got a weakness, so we're going to get another card. Okay, we should make sure we have the correct weaknesses. I don't know if you did that or not. Okay. I'll go into the deck after this to make sure that I have a Dunwich or a core or starter deck weakness. We're going to want to keep this. This is good later, but we don't need it just yet. We don't know that we're going to need that anytime soon. We don't need that. We likely don't need that to start. So we'll draw 4 cards. Good, so now we have some weapons. We have an ally. A lot of good things happening here. So we're going to be primarily the fighter, so even though we're not a guardian, we're playing a rogue. Our main job is going to be to handle combat, and then Pete over there is going to handle clues, and then they have Duke to do some backup with whatever else is needed, either in clue getting or combat. Alright, so we set the bag up. Looks like it's correct. We have to pay attention because the rogue changes if we get 10 cards in our discard pile, but otherwise we are good to go. Oh, I'm going to search my deck and make sure that my weakness is legal. Let me do that real quick. I have a legal weakness. Good, so I don't have to worry about it. And then I'm just going to have to mark off what it is. Yep, okay, good. Is your weakness correct or legal? I think you're muted because I can't hear you. I can hear you through the door, but I can't hear you on the computer. If it's not, you can just come up here and get a random weakness until you find one that is. So that's legal. That's Henry Walters' one. All right. And then we are going to begin. Why can't I hear?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Perfect.
Wonderful.
So that's
The
Don,
joys
everybody.
Hello, and we'll be playing some unique stuff today. Well, not so unique considering our card pool is limited, but yes, if we were playing Carcosa, that weakness would have been interesting, but we won't have to suffer through with it.
Okay. All right. So I'll start. I'm Jenny. I'm gonna start by playing Lone Wolf, which says whenever I'm by myself at the beginning of a turn, I get an extra money as a reaction. So it's a good way to get extra finances. And then I'm gonna play Mauser C96, which is a weapon. So it gives me a lot of ammo, which is good, but you can only use it once per turn, which is not so good. And it does 1 additional damage. If you succeed by 2 or more, then you can either ready it or get an extra money. And again, so Jenny gets money. A lot of her cards are expensive, but she offsets that by being able to get a lot of extra resources. So this helps with that. So that's my first action was to play Lone Wolf. My second action was to play the Mauser. I am now out of money, and Lone Wolf would like me to be by myself, so I'm going to go do that. And I'm going to head over to the faculty offices. So we're going to flip over the administration building. After it is put into play, put the faculty offices into play. So they are over here. Right. At the end of your turn, if you are in the administration building, discard the top card of your deck, and this has 2 clues on it. Alright, so I'm going to end my turn, and that means it's Ashcan Pete's turn.
Alright. Oh. It's actually Duke's turn, but because Duke is the man, or the dog, as it were. Since you've gone there and you want your money, I'm going to choose to go somewhere else for the time being. Even though that's a high shroud place for you. So I will go over here to the science building with activating the investigate function from Duke. And I will have 2. We do need to set aside alchemy building.
Sure.
All right. And I am +2 shroud on this location. All right, it's a shroud of 2, and Duke allows me to investigate at +4. So I will go ahead and commit perception just to get the majority of the bag. It's only 1 action.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Duke is new for me too.
Yeah, I thought you moved and then you investigated. Did I miss something?
As part of Duke, on the first one, before you can investigate, you can go ahead and move first.
Oh, super cool. Nice.
I agree. So I will pull a skull, which puts me at plus a lot still. So I will get the clue from the clution.
Yep, you also get a card.
Yep. And then now I am a mere mortal. And so I will go ahead and commit my other perception to investigate at +2, which is still most of over there. And we will do that. And we're still good, and we will get the clue. And draw a card. And we will get our weakness right now. And as we cannot go into the alchemy labs as they are locked, we will go ahead and scoot on over as our third action here. Because that takes 2 actions to remove.
Yep. Alright, so we move to the monster phase, but it's the first turn, so there are no monsters, so we go right to upkeep. So we just click upkeep. You'll see that I got 2 money because Jenny Barnes gets an additional 1 during their upkeep, which is awesome. So then we'll head over to the agenda and add a Doom. We'll shuffle the encounter deck 1 more time to make sure, and then we'll draw an encounter card. I'll be the lead investigator, so I'll draw first. I've drawn Beyond the Veil, so this is a revelation effect. When it comes into play, it joins into your threat area if there is no copy, so we'll do that. We'll put it right here. If your deck has no cards into it, you take 10 damage and discard Beyond the Veil. So I only have 8 life, so currently that would kill me. So in theory, if I run through my whole deck, I die. Additionally, this also has Surge, so I don't have to draw another card. So we'll do that. Light of Alorgamon. So this says that you cannot soak damage. Remember if from yesterday or previous games that sometimes I would assign damage to my assets, whether it would be allies or other things. This says it has to be taken as direct damage. Direct damage is done directly to your investigator. So it has to be attached to either the agenda or the act. So we're going to choose the act because we're more likely to advance the act sooner than the agenda because it only takes 6 clues, whereas this takes 6 more turns, and we should get 6 clues before then. So now that I've drawn my encounter cards, it's Don's turn.
I have pushed into the beyond. I must choose and shuffle a non-story asset I control into my deck.
Oof.
Yeah, considering that is going to be Duke.
Yep.
And discard the top card of your cards in my deck after I've done that. And
what are the odds that you discard Duke? Oh boy.
It's me. So.
Oh, there you go. All right, could have been worse.
Could have been worse. It's definitely a choice of phrase.
You don't have to use this either. You don't have to worry about that right now. All right. Well, do you want to go first, or would you like me to go?
Do you plan on taking care of business down there, or should I go looking for things so we can get this?
I am not going to be able to get these clues. 4 is above my pay grade currently. So if you think you're going to want to come down here, then maybe I should go first and not be here.
Sure, please do so. You get your lone wolf money.
Yeah, exactly. So the faculty offices are currently locked, so I can't enter into them. My turn will begin, so I'll get a money from Lone Wolf. My first action will be to move up to the quad. My second action will be to get a money. And then my third action will be to play Lonnie Ritter. Cool thing about Lonnie Ritter, so they give you +1 combat, and then you can exhaust her to choose an item asset controlled by an investigator at your location, heal 1 damage from that asset and 1 horror from her. So it's pretty neat. She's a good horror soak. It also gives combat.
Unfortunately, the bad things you drew prevented from being soak at the moment.
Yes, once the light is gone, it'll be better.
All right. I'm gonna hold off on going down to the labs, as I would rather do that once we have access to the faculty offices, so I'm not double tracking.
Sure. Both the labs and the faculty offices are locked, so you're gonna have to go left.
Yes. Let's go into the Orin Library.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, you lost a deduction, but hopefully you already had one. So it says here that you must spend an extra action in order to investigate this location. So basically, if you investigate it twice, perfect. So we have a deduction, so that's good. That gets you to even.
So that is exactly the problem, though.
Oh, so maybe we should draw some cards.
So I'm just doing some math here. So if I get even, I am 80% likely to be at -2, which is 80%, right? According to
you can look at the bag. So we'll zoom in and show everybody. So -2 is 80%, which is 4 out of 5, which is very favorable, but not 100%.
And unfortunately, I cannot get any better than that. Or if I'm okay with being -1, I have a 66% chance.
That's 2 out of 3. Yeah, 66.6. Repeating.
Yeah, let's go do that. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
We just really don't want a skull.
So what are we testing? We're at -1?
We're testing at -1.
So
and we're going to go ahead and...
-1 is you have a 13% chance of succeeding, right?
Because you need
a +1 to be a success?
I'm counting as being, even if I get a -1 as a success here.
Oh, okay, I understand what's about to happen.
Yes. Okay. Unfortunately, that is not the case.
So we have failed. So then
we have failed.
Oh, I thought we were doing something else. I thought.
Okay. I unfortunately need to be the lowest I can get is -1.
Yeah, no, I thought you were using live and learn to test, not lucky. I misunderstood.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So you have no more action, so then we can go to our upkeep phase since there's still no monsters. This is a way to get extra ammo. So one of the things I was worried about was running out of bullets. If you remember, in Roland's deck, we spent some experience to buy extra ammunition. This card is a way to do that, but it costs a lot more. But luckily, we're playing Jenny, so we have money. We'll put a Doom on the agenda, so it goes up to 2 of 7, and we'll draw an encounter card. Ancient Evils. So Jenny does a lot of things great, but stopping bad things out of the encounter deck is not one of them. So we're going to be putting a Doom on the agenda and
And
sending
I
it
will draw.
over.
All
So
right.
it's a brain test. Your base is -1.
I will commit those
Ooh,
two cards to this
okay.
to go plus 2, and we will go.
All right, it's a
And we
success.
succeed.
Yeah, so you draw from guts.
Yep.
All right, so it's our turn. Did you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Um, I will continue to go first.
Okay.
I'm going to I'm going to commit take heart to this just in case. So that way, either way this works, I'm good.
I mean, yes, you have a 13% chance of succeeding, or you pass by failing.
All right. So
I, I think you just fail. Yeah, I think it's correct to just take the money and run.
all right.
You still end up ahead, right? It's four actions for 2.
That's fair. Unfortunately, I cannot investigate again right now.
Yep.
Um, and that card I definitely can't use at the moment. And I can't investigate again. So, but we do need to get some clues going so that way we get some of that. So I will move for the moment and hope to find Duke along the way. All right. So I've revealed the humanities.
Okay. You have to take the amount of horror and discard it, but you have none, so that's good.
Yep.
All right. And so this is the humanities building. All right. So now it's my turn. I am alone, so I will get a money. You currently don't have assets, so I don't have to worry about your weakness. And I think instead of having 5 bullets, I'd like to have 10 bullets. So we're going to just play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to get a money with an action. Oop, whoops. And then we are going to play Contraband. So Contraband says, choose an asset controlled by an investigator, double the amount of ammo or supply on that asset. So we're going to take the amount of ammo, which is 5, and double it to 10. So now okay, apparently I grouped it onto Lonnie, which was a mistake, but no big deal. Now we have 10 bullets, so we should be able to shoot forever, which is great. That was our second action. So our third action is going to be to play another gun. We're going to play our Derringer. So as I said before, one of the weaknesses of the Mauser is that it doesn't ready automatically. So if we have to make 2 shots in a turn, we now have an extra weapon to do so. So I'm finished. So since they went first, we can now go to upkeep. I'll get my 2 money and another nifty card. We'll put a Doom on the agenda, 4 of 7, and we will draw our encounter cards. So I draw first. Peril, which means only I get to see it. Choose one of the following. So this is for everybody else, obviously. But um, asset, event, or skill. Each player must discard from their hand the ones of the chosen type, and you can't pick the same thing twice if multiple players have drawn this. So I feel like with all the money that Pete has, when the time that they've had, they would have played some assets if they had them. So I'm going to choose assets. Okay. Well, apparently I was wrong. We're just going to destroy their whole hand. Awesome. I discard nothing, which is good, but so yeah, we could have potentially talked about this between ourselves, but in Arkham in the rulebook, it does leave it up to table discretion, but it implies that you shouldn't be giving exact confirmation of your hand. And since this had peril, I should be making decision without input from somebody else. If you're playing with your own play group and you want to talk about what the best option is, that's okay. You can make that decision. But that's why I didn't ask what cards were in their hand before I made the choice. So it's their turn to
All
draw
right.
their encounter card.
That things. We have a locked door that's going to go ahead and exist right here.
All right. Well, there's a locked door down there, so I think I have a job to do, which is to break it down. So I'm gonna go first. I get a money from Lone Wolf, and I will move down into the location. The locked door is a test of 4, so I currently have 4 fists, my base 3 plus the 1 from Lonnie. I'm going to commit Overpower to be plus 2, and I'm going to commit Quick Thinking to be plus 3. Quick Thinking says if I succeed by 2 or more, I get refunded or I get an extra action. So first we're doing move, then we're doing the test, and like I said, we're going to be plus 3. So we're going to succeed by 1, so we do not get the extra action from Quick Thinking, but we do get a card from Overpower. Okay, so then we're going to use our third action. We can't click off the weakness because we only have 1 action remaining and it takes 2. So we're going to investigate this location 3 to 3, and I'm going to commit Take Heart. So worst case scenario, I get a bunch of cards and money. Best case scenario, well, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe the best case scenario is I get cards and money. Worst case scenario, I get a clue. Well, we're getting cards and
Hey.
money no matter what, so that's a perfect time to have played that. So we'll get 2 money and draw 2 cards. This is a nifty card. Now you'll notice that this is a survivor card, a red card, but Jenny is special. She gets to play 5 cards from a different class in her deck, and so this is one of the cards that I've chosen to play. So that's my turn, and that was my 3 actions. So it's now Pete's.
All right. Well, as I want you to get your money, I'm going to move away from you. And I'm a bit limited on my investigation options at the moment. So
You could always investigate here and then move after if you wanted to.
it's the same shroud. I'd rather go up there
Sure.
for the cards that are presently in my hand.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and pull at this wonderful detriment again, and that would be a -1, which would put me at -2. Correct?
Yes.
All right. So part of this, I'm gonna go ahead and mill the top 3 cards of my deck. And then I'm going to go ahead and play Look What I Found, which allows me, if I fail by 2,
Yep.
I will get both of those clues.
Nice. That's another way to get multiple clues from one investigation. It just requires you to fail.
And so we are closer to Duke now.
All right, we're going to put that away. And I think we
Yep.
can go to upkeep.
Yes, we can.
All right. As you'll see, again, I keep getting 2 money. It's piling up. And we will add a doom, 5 of 7. It's starting to get a little scary.
Yep.
All right. Encounter card. I'll draw one. We haven't seen a monster yet. I'm sure they exist. I don't have any brains, so I will test this at -2, and we'll see what happens. -3, so I take the top 3 cards and discard it. So 1. Oh, I wanted that. 2, 3. Those are some nice cards. Okay. That was my encounter card. Oh, we found a bad person.
And they're
The
going to
place
spawn right with you.
Okay, so they spawn at the place with the most clues, and then since I'm here, they automatically engage with me. There's no additional clauses on it. It does say that it retaliates, so if you attack it and miss, it will hit you back. All right. I guess I'm going. So
You are.
we'll start our turn and gain a money from Lone Wolf. It doesn't technically exhaust, but I just mark it to denote it, so that way I remember that I've done it. And then we'll use our Mauser. Since we have all of these bullets, we might as well shoot one. So we have 4, 5, so we're +3. We did not fail, so we succeed, and then we succeeded by more than 2. So I could ready it, but there's nothing around for me to shoot, so instead I'm going to gain a resource and go up to 10 money. Now, yep, that's action 1. Action 2, I will draw a card, because I don't have much to do right now. And I can't help investigate, so we'll do a card. Ooh, this is a fun tool that'll help us later. We'll talk about this later. This is a very fun card. It's another non-green card that I put in my deck, and I'll explain why and what it does. But for now, I'm just going to keep us moving along, and then we'll do our third action, which is going to be to draw another card.
I would prompt you that drawing your deck might not be the best, considering you're wonderful beyond the veil.
That's a good point, but I think a couple of cards is good. I need to be able to use this money that I've saved up. All right. I'm going to pass my turn. That's all the things I can do. So it's your turn.
All right. All right, so we're gonna come on down this time.
We need 2 more clues to investigate. Or
Yep,
to
and
advance, I'm sorry.
we're gonna investigate at -1 right now.
Okay, I'm unable to help you in a meaningful way.
I will get
Success!
a clue.
Is this a sad success or a happy success?
It is a card I don't have to spend from my hand, as currently my hand has been discarded.
I don't know anyone who would do that to you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And I will investigate again.
Okay.
And I will be lucky.
All right, so that gets us 6. Maybe we wait until next turn, or do you want to advance this now? It's your choice. I think it doesn't
Uh,
matter. I think it actually,
Um,
from what I remember, it benefits us to advance now.
we'll
Aside from
shuffle
getting
stuff
rid of
back
the
in.
light, it's going to put Jazz into the deck.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that now then.
All right, so we're going to advance. So we spend 6 clues. We shuffle the discard pile in and put Jazz in. Yeah. Okay. So basically, Jazz is the janitor, and we need to find him to be able to unlock those areas, whether it's the alchemy labs or the faculty offices. And then because we advanced, this would have been discarded, and it actually also gets shuffled back in. Okay. And now we can spend 1 clue to discard the top 5 cards of the encounter deck and try to find Jazz. So basically, every clue is 5 cards. And there's 32, so we need to try to find it before things move along too quickly. All right. So that was 2 actions for you, right? So do you think you have 1 more, or did you do all 3? I think you moved, investigate, investigate.
Correct.
Okay, so we just forgot to click it. No problem. So upkeep.
Upkeep.
All right. Doom on the agenda, so 6 of 7. Encounter card for me. Shuffle a non-story asset you control into your deck and discard the top 3 cards. So I'm going to choose my pistol for a number of reasons. Shuffle, 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 and then 1. Hey, that's my weakness. 2, 3. Oh, that's my cigarette case. All right. So the good news is when you discard weaknesses, nothing shuffles it back in, and we did not hit the gun, so we don't have to take 2 horror. So we're good. You can take your encounter card when you're ready.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the team. Don't try to
Except
find
that,
Duke too hard.
I was gonna be like, we are now up a creek without a paddle.
Yep.
So,
All right. Well, moving right along.
would you like to go first?
Kind of don't, because you're with me. Is there something that you need me to
Oh.
do?
Oh, thank you. No, you are correct. I was thinking of the other direction, so thank you. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this magnifying glass to go ahead and as a fast action.
Yep.
So I'm going to be even with this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna pull from the bag in this regard because we're down to 12 cards in our deck at this point.
Okay, that's a fail.
Yep. Action number.
I don't have a meaningful way to help you with this either.
It's okay because I'm gonna fail in this way.
Oh, live and learn. Great. So now you're testing at +2 with deduction.
And we're gonna commit. We're gonna go.
I like
+3.
these choices. Perfect. So you succeed and get 2 clues. So the way Live and Learn works is after you fail a test, you test it again, but with +2 value. If you had committed cards to the original failure, you don't get those cards back, and you don't get to apply them to the next test. If you had any static cards, you could. So the reason why they held back the deduction was they expected to fail, which they did, and then they were able to use it with the increased odds, with the extra 2 skill, to get the clue. So it was a very good play. So that is action 1 was the investigate. So we have 2 actions remaining, which conveniently is enough to click some clues.
I'm gonna win 1 get away from you.
I appreciate it. Although I do have quite a bit of money, so it's less problematic now. If
Sure.
you want to just click them, that's fine.
You're able to click as well, correct?
I don't believe so. It says you have to spend a clue, which would imply that you have to have the clue, and I don't have any clues.
Oh, well then, yes, I'm going.
Okay.
Well, I still want to get out of. I still want to get out of here because if horror does happen,
you don't want to lose cards. Sure. Okay.
But yeah, I will start off with spending a clue now.
Right, so you're moving and then spending a clue, right?
Correct. Yep.
All right. So we take the top 5 cards and we flip them over, and we're looking for Jazz Mulligan. Unfortunately, we did not get one, and we got all the monsters, or many of them anyway. Alright, so that's all 3 actions for Pete, so it's my turn. I'm Jenny, I have my lone wolf, so I'll take my money. And once again, I still have a problem where I have a bunch of things that are not what we need, and I can't do clues, so
You can check the
Uh,
student union to see if there's anything low on the shroud value there.
um, I, I could. I could. All right, we'll do that. I'll move up, and then I'll move down to the student union. It's relatively low, which is good, and it puts the dorms into play. We can click to heal horror.
1 damage and 1 horror.
Yeah. Is that the dorms? There they are, finally. Oh, man. Alright, so I did 2 actions. I did move and move, so we'll just investigate at +2. None of our other cards have book, so, well, this does, but we're not going to use that. We succeed. Huzzah. Aren't we awesome? So we grab a clue for Jenny, and we go to the upkeep.
Upkeep.
Look at the pile of money. It's so pretty. Then we go to the agenda, and we'll add it. So this is the 7th, so we must advance the agenda. We look in here. Each investigator with 5 or more cards in their discard pile takes a horror. 10 or more takes 2 horror. I believe we both have 10 or more, so I just hit it, but that's okay. And yes, Pete is definitely living that life. So we're each taking 2 horror. We have not completed the house always wins, so we do not immediately advance. So now our maximum hand size is reduced by 3. So in the upkeep phase, we have to have 5 cards, not 8. So it's important to double check that. And we're still looking for Jazz Mulligan. Alright,
Alrighty.
so that was the agenda advancing. So now we are moving on to encounter cards. So I'll draw mine. Alright, brain test. Well, I may not have book, but I definitely don't have brains. So we're testing at -2. Alright, we're going the full 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, all of our weaknesses are gone, so we got that going for us.
And not my bad things.
Oh,
Hey!
hey! That's the best bad thing. So, Jazz Mulligan goes into play at your location, which is going to be the quad. You must make a parlay test of 3 to take control of him. And when you have Jazz, you can ignore the text on each unrevealed Miskatonic location. Alright, did you want to go first, or did you want me to go first?
Um,
I could potentially help, or maybe I have a better chance of succeeding.
I think you do have a better chance of succeeding right now because
Okay,
both my
so
dark horses are in the yard.
alright, so I will go first. I get a money from the Lone Wolf. I will use my first action to step on up. I will use my second action to attempt the test. So I attempt the test at even. I'm going to commit a card called Slip Away, which gives me 1 book. So I'm testing +1, and that's all that I can do.
How about I give you another +1?
Alright, so I'm now +2 to the test. Well, that's not
Oh,
happening. And then I'll test again at even. That's a -1, so it's a fail. And I discard 3 more cards, so we're getting very close to death. And there's cards that would have helped. Awesome. Alright,
oh,
those are my 3.
you're even closer than I am. Oh boy,
Mm-hmm.
we need him to go to places.
Yes. Ideally, the dormitory, I think.
I think so as well. Cool. So I'm going to draw a card because I'm -1 presently, and my odds are not very good looking at the deck.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Only,
more likely to kill yourself with skulls than you are to pass.
yeah, I was hoping you would.
Me too.
That on the other hand, um, let's take a look at what's in. Both my perceptions are gone because I got those early. One of those still exists. Um, I think going 1 more card is worth it at this point because we are both on a very finite time that's even more worse than the Doom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't help right now. So I will make this test
Okay.
at +1.
Alright, so you've drawn 2 cards. This is your last action.
Yes.
Okay.
And let's go.
Hey!
Hey!
So when you succeed, you control Jazz. Let's read this. Spend a clue. If you discard Jazz Mulligan for any reason. Oh, when you take control of Jazz, that's when you advance. So this card goes away, and we read the back. If the alchemy location is not in play, put it in. If it is agenda 1 or 2, spawn the set aside experiment. So it is agenda 2. So we are spawning the experiment over here. If you have completed the house always wins, put other stuff there, but we have not, so we don't have to worry about that, and that gets finished. So this says we must find and complete an objective on another card. All right.
All right. So
Let's probably move on down.
that's
Oh,
upkeep.
that was
I
your
got my
last
third
action.
action.
Yeah, okay. So upkeep. I have 8 cards, but if you remember, our hand size is 5 now, so I have to discard 3 of them. I will discard the Mauser. I will discard Lonnie Ritter. And I will discard Nimble because I've already lost my weakness, so I don't need to be able to fly around the map. Alright, so that was my upkeep, so now we go to the agenda, or the Mythos phase rather. We put a Doom on the agenda, and I draw an encounter card. Not a monster. Okay, the location with the most clues is actually over here, the administrative building.
Glad I left that there then.
Yeah.
And a whippoorwill.
So whippoorwills are an aloof creature. That's a new thing. Aloof creatures do not automatically engage you. And so what this one does is it makes all of your skills get -1. It's also a hunter, so it's going to follow us around. So maybe we want to kill it, or maybe we want to try to run away from it, because it can only move 1 location per turn. We'll figure that out as we go. But it goes into play here in the quad where we drew it.
Okay.
Alright, so I think you should go first.
I agree. I'm
Hey!
going to go ahead and play Duke.
We like Duke. Welcome back to the team, friend.
He's a good boy.
Okay.
I'm going to leave
I
this.
think you should move and then use Duke's ability. But you're not
That's where I
Jenny.
was-
You're Pete.
Yeah. And then, but yes, we are very much on the same boat there. So I will go down to the dormitories.
Okay.
All right, and we have another objective.
So we have to spend 6 clues here, and then we can advance. Now, if we don't have to necessarily spend the 6 clues that are here. I already have some, and so does Pete. But if we can get all these clues, we'll also get victory. So the ideal is going to be that, but considering our situation where we're both low on cards and could potentially die, we might have to click out before we can get all the clues. Hopefully we don't. But you're testing now with a book 4, so you're +3, because that's the way Duke works. Oh, +5, because magnifying glass gives +1 to investigations, including Duke's. Apparently, Duke's just doing some Arkham Horror right now.
All right, and we needed it.
Yeah.
And
just take all 6. Yeah. All right. So I'm by myself once again. I will take some money. And instead of dealing with this whippoorwill, I'm going to attempt to get some extra clues, taking time off the clock. So move 1, move 2, and then I'm going to investigate at +2. I still don't have any cards that I think are worth using to help, so we're just going to test +2. And we succeed, so we grab another clue, which is great. I think that puts us to 4.
It does.
So we only need to get 2 clues now to advance. Again, we'd like to get all 4 because we want the victory, but we're running low on cards. So we'll go to the monster phase. In the monster phase, the hunter will move, so he moves on down. The experiment is not a hunter, so it stays there, and that's everything for that. So we go to upkeep and click upkeep. That's a helpful card. You got your upkeep done?
I did get my upkeep done.
All right, Doom on the agenda, and encounter card. Okay.
That is a brain test.
We are going to commit unexpected courage to test even, and we're going to commit our 20 twin 45s to test +1, and apparently we're getting foot to test +2. We're doing this because every card we lose now would be losing a turn. It's more dangerous, or as dangerous as adding Doom to the agenda. We pass, so we don't have to lose any cards, so that's great.
All right, and now my bad thing. Okay. I have a peril choice here to make.
Mm-hmm.
One of those is really bad. And we no longer have the agenda into. Actually, is it that bad? Yeah, it's still bad. I'm going to choose to go ahead and take 2 horror.
Okay.
And Jazz is going to take 1, and Duke is going to take 1.
All right.
I had the option of drawing 2 cards and placing 2 dooms, which would cause the agenda to advance.
Yep, I think it's correct. Good choice. All right. So I'll go first. I'm testing +2. Actually, all right. How spicy do you want to play? Would you like additional experience?
Well, if you die to the weakness, it's going to count as mental trauma for you, correct?
To
Because
that
it is a
weakness,
weak.
yeah, that weakness is mental
Okay,
trauma.
okay, so and then I'd also have to go. I'd be losing experience because I'd also have to pick up your other two clues.
All right, so
Um.
let's just get the clues then. I'm testing +2. I fail, I fail, I succeed. So I got one.
Okay. I was going to ask you if you wanted to click off mine, but that's okay.
To pick off what?
Uh,
Oh, click
my
off your
weakness.
weakness.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think testing was
Mhm.
correct. I think it's better than your weakness, right? Because it's one. It's 2 clicks for 1 click.
I'm
You're,
nullifying the bag, but
uh,
it's okay.
it's
It's
only
okay.
+1, right? Like it's not.
It's plus 2 off
Oh,
of
because
my
of Duke. Yeah,
base.
yeah. All right. I made poor choices, but I've already tested. So
So I have a rules question that now becomes pertinent.
yeah.
If I go ahead and get like a -3 here, right?
Okay.
That would bring me down to a 0. What if I get a -4? Does that send me further negative,
You can
or
get a
how does
minus
that?
5 million. You cannot get reduced below 0.
Okay, perfect. That's what I needed to know.
Even if you red squid fail, you would not be below 0.
Oh, and so that would count as 2 or less then?
You would fail by 1, right? You would go to 0.
Okay, perfect. So then let's just pull.
Sounds great.
Alrighty. So I go down to 1, which is still a success.
Correct. It's an
So,
actual success.
yes,
Great.
I will pull again.
Also a
And have.
success.
Yes. And I will also succeed again.
All right. Well, maybe we get to run the dice. I believe that this needs a click, right? Oh, it does not.
We
So
have the
we
choice.
have the choice. I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit if you want to, but I'm okay clicking out.
As you are more likely to be impacted by this than I am, I leave it in your hands.
Oh, we're risking it for the biscuit then. All right. So the hunter
Okay.
comes on in. We hit upkeep.
Okay.
Doom on the agenda. That will advance us. So we take this agenda and flip it over. If the dormitories is not in play, put it into play. It already is. If the experiment is in play, move it one location towards the dormitory, so that'll move over to the science building. And if it's not in play, spawn it, but it was. This says every 2 turns we're going to move the experiment closer to the dormitories, and if it enters the dormitories, advance. And since this is the last agenda, that likely means bad things, so we don't want that to happen. So it's our turn to draw encounter cards. Huzzah! Attached to your location to move into or out of it. That's fine. We're not leaving.
Hey.
Oh, well, that also makes things fun and enjoyable.
It certainly is a choice.
All right. Well, I said fun and enjoyable. I said anything about choosing. All right. So we are not going to engage that because you have plenty of life and I don't have actions to mess around. We are going to spend some of this hard-earned money and play backstab. We're going to use our feet instead of our fists, and we're going to commit manual dexterity to get +2, and another backstab to be +3. So that's 6, so we're +2 on the attack. And if this works, we'll try to kill it, and if not, we'll get out of here.
Are you accounting for the whippoorwill as well?
I wasn't, but I passed anyway. So
Okay.
he'll take 3 damage.
Okay.
Then we're going to line up a shot with our Mauser. That gets us to 5. I'll commit my Derringer to be 6. If you have any additional fists, now's the time.
I do not.
Alright, so I'm only +1, but it's worth the shot.
Hey.
Hey! So that has victory, so we get the victory from it. And then with my third and final action, I'm going to play Delve Too Deep. So I spoke
Okay.
earlier about what this does, that I added it in for something. So Dunwich is known for giving very little XP. This is a way to accelerate our decks a little bit. And because Jenny gets access to 5 level 0 cards from any color, I can include this. Delve Too Deep says when Investigator orders, so I'm the lead investigator, I'll draw the first card from the encounter deck, then Pete will, and then after those 2 cards resolve, this goes into the display. So I drew Ancient Evils, which puts a Doom on the agenda, which is no big deal, and then they put theirs. This has Peril, okay, yep. And then this goes over here. So we're gonna, yep, put it there, and then this goes into the display, which is awesome. I've used all of my actions, so that's my turn. I don't know if Pete has anything that they could do.
I'm going to draw a card first.
Okay.
I'm going to draw another card. And sadly, we did not draw our own copy of Delve Too Deep to play alongside with it.
Okay. So Pete is
So,
also able to get 5 neutral cards. So we saw the magnifying glass and the deduction, so that was 4. So I guess the 5th one's going to be the Delve Too Deep. Neat.
as you made mention, it is not a big XP giver, and experience does help with some things.
Yep.
Even with limited card pool.
So we've used 5 of our actions, but we are going to click out now, or not click out, I shouldn't say click, but we're going to use the 6 clues to advance. So we have found an alternative, and then we get resolution 2 from this, sorry. So resolution 2 is in the book. Where did I? Here it is. I couldn't find it for a moment. We go forward. Resolution 2 is over here on the right. In your campaign log, which is the book, we're going to record that Professor Warren Rice was kidnapped. I'm assuming that Pete's doing that for me, or is it Don's doing that? We're also going to record that the students were rescued. We're going to get XP equal to the display, which I believe is 4. And this is the first scenario of our campaign, so we're going to proceed to the House Always Wins, which will be tomorrow night. So we just have to put, yep, Professor Warren Rice was kidnapped, and the students were rescued. Perfect. And that's everything for tonight. I hope everyone had a good time, and catch in with us tomorrow. We'll be spending our 4 XP on some awesome cards. See you then, and have a good night.